Welcome back to the Deep Dive, where we sift through your sources to unearth those crucial nuggets of knowledge, leaving you not just informed, but hopefully genuinely fascinated.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're plunging into a truly extraordinary journey you've shared with us. Forget any preconceived notions about magic or the afterlife, because we're entering a world where Cambridge boasts a Department of Analytic Magic.
Right.
And hell. Well, it's not quite what any myth or legend ever told you.
No, it really isn't. It's a narrative that masterfully reframes these ancient concepts through a very modern, almost chillingly academic lens.
Yeah.
Our mission today really is to follow two ambitious postgraduate students, Alice Law and Peter Murdoch, into this meticulously constructed underworld.
Okay.
And we're exploring how this unique form of magic intertwines with, well, raw ambition and some pretty profound self-discovery.
Absolutely. Our main character, Alice Law, she's this driven Cambridge postgraduate, right, with a singular, almost impossible goal. She needs a golden recommendation letter.
The ultimate academic prize.
From Professor Jacob Grimes, Nobel laureate, department chair. The massive snag.
She's dead.
Professor Grimes is dead. And to get what she wants, Alice needs to go to hell. And she needs to go, like, today.
It just immediately sparks so many questions, doesn't it? What kind of ambition propels someone to literally descend into the underworld?
I know.
And how does a world built on this analytic magic even begin to define such an extraordinary, almost mythic act? The text gives us some truly unexpected answers here.
Okay, let's unpack this core concept then. Analytic magic. It's not your typical wand waving, is it?
Not at all.
The sources tell us magic, the most mysterious and capricious of disciplines, is in brief the act of telling lies about the world. It's about being able to bewilder and suspend natural laws by spinning the right web of untruths.
Exactly. It's about finding a set of premises that, even if just for a split second, made the world seem other than what it really was. The crucial element here is the paradox, the deliberate defiance of belief. The perfect example given is the Sorite's paradox, the heap of sand one.
Oh, right. If you take one grain away...
Is it still a heap? Take another?
Yeah.
When does it stop being a heap? That constant confusion, that doubt. The text says the world blinks.
Wow. And Alice's introduction to this revolutionary idea was seeing that exact demonstration. A visiting postdoc, a chalk circle, a pile of sand that just couldn't be emptied.
Yeah.
She watched the sand spill from her fingers and something knocked over in her chest, that stomach-dropping awe like a kid at a magic show. That feeling never left her.
And this highlights how fundamental the disruption of belief is to this world's magic. For Alice, it was a total epiphany. It completely transformed her academic path. Suddenly, traditional fields like maths and physics seemed, well, irrelevant to her. The desire to make the world dance according to your whims became her singular driving force.
So, her ambition isn't just for a degree. It's fueled by this deep, almost spiritual wonder. But does she face this extraordinary challenge alone, or does that competitive Cambridge environment push others towards similar extremes?
Oh, she certainly isn't alone. That's where it gets really interesting. Her academic rival, Peter Murdoch, is also trying to go to hell.
No way.
For the very same reason, which immediately highlights both the intricate analytical nature of their magic and the intense, almost cutthroat dynamics within their academic world.
Right.
Peter even alters Alice's carefully inscribed pentagram, it's a Ramanujan summation, with implications for the Casimir effect.
Wow, okay. That's specific and advanced, tied to quantum physics, isn't it?
Exactly, to precisely target Grimes. And it shows his brilliance, but also his methods.
So Peter, then, he's initially portrayed as rude, maybe a bit oblivious, but undeniably a genius. His alterations to Alice's spell are called very rude. Yet the narrative notes, when Peter bared it was cute. Contrast that with Alice, who spent dinner hyperventilating just after knocking over a breadbasket. It immediately tells you a lot about their contrasting personalities and the unfairness in how they're perceived.
It speaks volumes, doesn't it, about the social dynamics in these highly competitive academic places. The text suggests a clear double standard based on personality, maybe privilege.
Seems like it.
Peter's eccentricities are tolerated, even seen as charming, while Alice's anxieties are magnified, seen as a weakness.
And it turns out Peter was the poltergeist haunting the library stacks, checking out all the books Alice needed.
For their shared secret project.
Retrieving Professor Grimes, and his reasoning for this incredibly dangerous plan.
It's almost desperate. He says, no one else could supervise our dissertations. No one else is clever enough. And there's still so much he hasn't taught us.
So they both feel this intense reliance on Grimes.
A shared reliance, yeah. Despite the rivalry, they both believe only he can provide the intellectual guidance they need. It paints this vivid picture of Grimes' huge influence, almost a cult of personality around him, and the void his death left. Peter, despite that initial warmth and cheer, he pulls away sometimes, leaving Alice constantly questioning herself.
So the spell is cast, Alice and Peter make it to hell, and it's not what you'd expect, right? No fire, no brimstone.
Not immediately, no.
Alice feels this wild, burning elation when her spell works. Then hell reveals itself as rolling dunes, with landmarks that are conceptual, not fixed.
Yeah, and the sand itself resists them. It actively erases their footprints.
Creepy.
It's a radical departure from traditional depictions. The idea that hell reveals itself to you in whatever order it so chooses sets up its fluid, subjective nature. It's not static torment. It's an environment that shifts, maybe molds itself to you.
So your fears, maybe, or desires?
Exactly.
They soon cross under a viewing pavilion, a mirror image of Cambridge.
But upside down and shudderingly translucent.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. It's where the living and dead can glimpse each other, apparently where most hauntings on record were facilitated. And the most surprising twist, ghosts, it turns out, only wanted to feel included and know if they'd been remembered.
That's fascinating, isn't it? Hell reflecting the living world, ghosts driven by connection, not malice.
It kind of humanizes them.
It does.
Yeah.
But for me, it almost deepens the horror.
Yeah.
Because if hell reflects us so intimately, then its terror isn't just external punishment, but maybe our own amplified anxieties, our unfulfilled desires made manifest.
Oh, okay. Their first major stop is a giant library in the Court of Pride.
Right?
And it looks like a city university. Shelves everywhere, researchers bustling about. It's chilly, like all libraries.
Of course it is.
And full of shades, the spirits of the dead working on a single eternal task.
This is just brilliant subversion, isn't it? Hell isn't physical torment, it's intellectual purgatory. It forces you to think, could our own demanding pursuits like relentless academic pressure become a kind of self-imposed hell, trapping us in these abstract tasks like define the good?
And then you have to give an oral defense?
Naturally. Failure means years of endless reevaluation. It's such a sharp satirical critique of academia itself.
And in this bizarre academic afterlife, they meet more. A very verbose administrator who explains the rules. Shades get transcripts listing their major sins, and they have to pass each court in order. Fail pride, they won't pass you in desire.
Standard procedure, apparently.
And more himself. He took the admin job happily because administration interferes with research.
Oh, that's perfect. It paints this vividly bureaucratic, almost Kafka-esque vision of the afterlife. The rules are arbitrary, the administrators are wrapped up in their own niche research.
Fully detached.
Yeah, it mirrors that frustrating, sometimes absurd logic of institutions we all encounter.
Totally. Okay, next stop. Desire. Peter, ever the optimist, thinks they've got extreme moral fortitude. They'll breeze through.
Of course he does.
But for Alice, this court brings a very different kind of pain. She finds the shades pathetic, lost in overindulgence. She's overwhelmed by this vision of, like, vulgarity and consumption.
And this court brilliantly delves into the academic culture around desire back at Cambridge.
Yeah.
Sensual pleasures, we learn, are looked down upon as a distraction from the life of the mind.
Right. Especially by Grimes.
It's Professor Grimes, yeah.
Yeah.
He was the most fanatic about his asceticism, believing the life of the mind is all there is. Anything else is degeneracy, is bodily, is filth.
Wow. Intense.
Very.
And Alice, in this moment of vulnerability, confesses she often failed to achieve that blissful intellectual zen Grimes pushed for. She felt bereft, unsatisfied and unsatisfying, trapped in a body that needed. It just reveals the intense pressure, the self-denial in their field, and how hell brutally mirrors these internal struggles for her. She couldn't get that runner's high of peaceful contemplation.
No, and this connects directly to the larger theme, the cost of that single-minded ambition, the degeneracy Grimes preached against. That's precisely what Alice struggles with. It reveals the hypocrisy, the psychological toll of that demanding academic lifestyle.
Yeah.
The ideal of pure intellect often crushes basic human needs.
And just outside the Court of Desire, they face this brutal storm. It bashed like a hammer. Literally battling the elements feels like drowning.
A stark reminder of their physical vulnerability.
Yeah, a brutal contrast to the intellectual battles. A reminder that hell has teeth, real, unmagical, punishing challenges.
And then comes the ultimate blow. They quickly discover their magic doesn't work in
You're
health.
gone.
The sand eats it up. Peter tries his chalk magic, his obsidian stream, but it faded away like the silt absorbed it all.
Oh, man, that's a monumental setback. Alice realizes without magic, they were just two ordinary people, two idiot hikers, really, who'd ventured down here on a whim.
It's such a critical turning point. It strips away their primary tool, forces them to confront their utter limitations, the illusion of control they had.
Right.
Gone.
Yeah.
It transforms their journey from this high-stakes academic exercise into a desperate fight for survival.
And during this now really perilous journey, they meet Elspeth Bayes, a former Cambridge student.
Right. Died tragically decades ago, been stuck in hell ever since.
And she has some insights, like dying in hell means total annihilation of the self, no reincarnation.
Ouch. Stakes raised again.
And she warns them about bone things controlled by a magician, the Kripkes, renowned visual artists and illusionists known for their wild and unconventional magic.
Elspeth's presence is a profound cautionary tale, isn't it? Her story of academic burnout, disillusionment, combined with the Kripke's malevolent reality-warping magic, it deepens the dangers way beyond just bureaucratic hurdles. These Kripkes, masters of illusion using Escher techniques, are making Hell's landscape actively treacherous, disorienting.
Messing with reality itself. We also learn more about Peter's background around here, too.
We do. His chronic illness, his overprotective parents, and his fervent desire to prove he was something quite special. He hated to ever make exceptions on account of his constitution and saw Grimes' cruelty as a challenge.
That explains a lot, actually. His drive, his seeming aloofness, that absent, erratic genius persona.
Exactly. This psychological depth is crucial. His persona wasn't just eccentric. It was like a coping mechanism, a way to reclaim agency in a life often dictated by illness. It gives us a new lens on his behavior, reveals this deep-seated need for purpose, for validation beyond his physical limits.
Okay, so with Peter's motivations clearer, their tumultuous journey continues, and it leads them to another profound challenge, an encounter with the Weaver Girl.
A deity offering a test of loyalty.
Yeah. And Peter, ever the strategist, proposes, "Pretend that I love you." He asks Alice to assume their wills are united. But Alice, she remembers Peter's cruel remarks about her to Grimes, calling her a bird hopping where the seed is, eating right out of his hand, burrowing in for warmth. She really struggles with this pretense.
And that moment just exposes the deep-seated mistrust, the complex emotional history between them. Alice's internal conflict, wanting to trust him in this life-or-death situation, but remembering those past hurts. It's such a powerful commentary on the fragility of relationships under duress. The test reveals the truth of their bond, or maybe the lack of it.
And Alice ultimately chooses the green apple, dooming Peter to be kept by the Weaver Girl.
A devastating choice.
And it's right after this, in this moment of just raw vulnerability, that Alice confesses to Peter, "I killed him."
Professor Grimes.
Yeah. For us, the listeners, this is just a shocking revelation. It fundamentally recontextualizes her entire mission, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This confession is the culmination of all her repressed guilt, the toxic dynamic with Grimes. It's a moment of profound vulnerability. It underscores the immense psychological burden she's been carrying. It shifts our understanding of her motivation from just ambition to this desperate quest for absolution, or maybe just confrontation.
Wow. She then recounts how Grimes, during that summer in Italy, tattooed her, gave her an on-call encyclopedia memory.
The experiment was a success, technically.
But she never told Peter about the vicious procession of memories, the overwhelming flood of information, the constant effort needed to rebuild a staircase by the hour to keep in mind who I am. Her photographic memory isn't a gift. It's a profound burden.
It's such a critical insight into her internal world, this roller coaster ride through infinite screens. It makes her struggle with this useless deluge of detail. It forces her to confront her past actions, especially her role in Grimes' death. It's a profound exploration of identity and memory. It hints at these philosophical underpinnings of personal existence, where the past isn't just remembered, it's constantly experienced.
Heavy. Soon after, Alice gets trapped. An Escher trap.
Created by the Kripkes.
A nil geometry space featuring Penrose stairs, those impossible, endlessly ascending or descending staircases.
Nightmare fuel.
And Peter, he just starts laughing hysterically, says, "Elspeth was right! We're such idiots!" He thinks they're utterly doomed.
The Escher trap perfectly symbolizes the inescapable, illogical nature of their situation in hell. Peter's laughter, despite the terror, it's a coping mechanism, right? Acknowledging their folly and venturing into a place where the Kripke's algorithmic language of illusion has made it truly treacherous.
And to escape the Kripke's next trap, the Xeno trap.
Another paradox, Achilles and the tortoise. You can never quite reach it.
Peter makes the ultimate sacrifice. He performs a blood magic ritual to give Alice the means to escape. But he explains it won't work on him because he can't suspend his disbelief long enough. He tells her, "You're not a very good logician," implying her less rigid mind is actually an advantage here.
That is Peter's ultimate act of redemption, isn't it? Sacrifice. And it underscores this fascinating aspect of their magic.
Yeah.
The subjective belief of the practitioner is key.
Yeah.
It suggests that sometimes a mind less constrained by perfect logic can be more adaptable, more capable of accepting paradox, and therefore paradoxically stronger. It's a powerful moment that completely redefines his character.
Alice is experiencing profound grief, wishing she could die instead, but Peter insists we both live or we both die. There's no third option.
Oh, man.
His final act is using his blood for the paradox, telling her, "I hate you, you're such a..." And he finishes logician with a sad smile. It's just poignant, heartbreaking, perfectly encapsulates their whole complex relationship.
It is truly powerful. A tragic moment solidifies Peter's love, his sacrifice. It reveals his self-awareness, that inherent conflict between his logical mind and his human emotions. And Alice's subsequent bloodlust. Her decision to scour hell. That marks a huge transformation. She's no longer just a victim. She's a hunter, driven by grief and this fierce new purpose.
So Alice, now this transformed force, she confronts Professor Grimes at the court of King Yama, a powerful judge of the dead.
But not to rescue him.
No, she's there to show him her work. She reveals her own version of the Rictos spell, that powerful necromancy known for binding the dead one she designed to keep him tethered, as a talking head inside a wooden frame.
Whoa.
Until she gets everything I needed out of you. And she is proud to tell him it's how I vanquished Nick Kripke.
That is Alice's ultimate moment of reckoning and triumph. She asserts her intellectual independence, her agency. She turns Grimes' own methods, the very systems he championed, against him.
Yep, a total reversal.
A powerful reversal of their teacher-student dynamic. She finally proves her scholarship, maybe finally becomes that good scholar Grimes had made her doubt she could ever be. He'd effectively destroyed her faith in her own ability to think.
And Grimes, for the very first time, he looks desperate. Alice realizes she'd never seen him need anything before. He doesn't even know how to beg. And then King Yama's declaration, "Hell has no rules," just completely dismantles Grimes' entire worldview of structured systems and impartial judgment.
That's the symbolic death of Grimes' power over Alice, isn't it? And the rigid academic system he represents. It signifies Alice's liberation from his oppressive influence. It's the triumph of a more fluid, paradoxical understanding of existence where even the afterlife defies strict rules.
King Yama then grants Alice and Peter a partial return, offers half of the years you gave up in your journey.
A partial return. Interesting.
And he accepts the dilithia, this Janus-headed flower that is a true contradiction, representing the paradox that allows them to exist in return.
The dilithia, a physical manifestation of the kind of magic they've explored, a thing that could not be, yet it exists. It's a powerful symbol of their ability to navigate paradox, of contradictory truths coexisting, allowing a new reality to emerge.
As they ascend from hell, Alice sees the rubble citadel below. She realizes that Gertrude, an earlier character, thought her refuge was so large.
Yeah.
But from above, Alice could see the citadel was only an ugly spot on an immeasurable landscape. A gull house, heartbreaking in its attention to detail.
Wow. That final observation offers such a profound perspective shift. It emphasizes the subjective nature of suffering, the delusion of self-imposed isolation. It's a moment of acquired wisdom, seeing the futility of refusing reincarnation as the escape and choosing stagnation instead.
They return to Cambridge. Peter jokingly asks if they'll ever get jobs now.
Good question.
Alice proposes they write about hell for their dissertation. And when Peter says she's biased because you're in love with me, Alice just blushes and says, "Hush."
That lighter, more hopeful ending beautifully highlights their transformed relationship, doesn't it? The possibility of a shared future. It acknowledges the complex bond that developed through that extraordinary ordeal and the profound ways their journey has redefined both their lives and their work.
What an incredible, mind-bending journey. We've seen how academic ambition can quite literally lead to the gates of hell.
Literally.
how magic is this nuanced art of persuasion and paradox, and how even the most challenging environments can foster profound personal growth and forge unexpected deep bonds.
Indeed. Alice's transformation from that hyper-anxious student to a powerful magician who confronts her deepest fears and holds a god accountable. It offers a truly powerful testament to resilience and self-discovery, her ability to accept all the myriad blossoms in the world, again, not just abstract knowledge. That feels like a profound liberation.
And the idea of hell as a series of academic trials, with shades arguing about defining the good or the nature of time, it really makes you rethink what knowledge or even punishment truly means. It feels almost too real for anyone who's ever faced a daunting academic committee.
Absolutely. It challenges us to consider our own transcripts and sins, and whether our perception of reality or even our self-worth is shaped by external validation or internal truth. It suggests that maybe the greatest hell is the one we construct for ourselves through rigid beliefs and unrelenting demands.
So, what does this all mean for you, listening? Alice's story reminds us that even when the world seems to defy logic, or when our paths are just fraught with impossible choices, our resilience, our ability to connect with others, and our determination to define our own purpose can guide us through the most unimaginable challenges.
And perhaps, just like Peter's explanation of Olber's paradox, the night sky being dark because distant starlight is still stretching to reach us, maybe our own understanding of self and purpose is an ongoing journey like that, constantly unfolding. It makes you wonder, what personal paradoxes do you rely on to make your world dance?
A truly thought-provoking deep dive. Thank you for joining us. We hope you'll continue to explore these fascinating intersections of story, philosophy, and the human condition.